Under Mayor Meyer and the council, the city has wasted millions of dollars on consultants, worthless projects, and self-aggrandizing boondoggles. Is this really how you want our city to conduct business? We need accountability. We need fiscal responsibility. We deserve better leadership than this.
Attack ad that has recently come out. Here's what she had to say.
Mudslinging, the act of using insults and accusations, especially unjust ones, aimed at damaging the reputation of an opponent.
You know, this isn't the way that people in Wyoming run a political campaign. It's not the code of the West. It's not cowboy ethics. It's just dirty campaigning.
After serving 6 years on the Casper City Council, SCHALGER says this dirty campaigning has seemed to increase this election season.
2 simple questions that I asked have truly been turned into a very misleading and inappropriate ad.
Did you know that Councilman SCHALGER wanted to spy on fellow council members?
What happened is confidential information was taken out of my council locker that was pertaining to the Councilman HEADQUIST case. So I wanted to obviously see if it was possible to find out who might be stealing things from our lockers. I was told no, I accept that answer. That's just the way it goes.
Another accusation made in the ad.
Or that she tried to run their license plates illegally.
There were citizens concerned that Councilman HEADQUIST did not live in his ward at the time of election. So I merely asked the question, can we run a plate to see if this is true? I was told no, and that was the end of the story.
However, these dangerous ads are creeping more and more into the viewers' eyes here in Casper.
With bagpipes and
on that tag. I mean, if you still feel okay about it.
Yeah, well, I want to talk to you about it. I mean, I'll share with you what I know. I didn't know. I think tomorrow morning we were going to sit down to go over that contract. If you wanted to meet before that, or
no,
sometime this afternoon, or
nope. I mean, no, and it was just, I mean, a council member asked me last night, hey, did you get that? And I said, nope, I will soon, and so I don't know how quickly they want it. But if you have any hesitancy, because I shared with this council person, I said, you know, I talked to the chief and said, you know, Chief, I'm not sure that, you know, that I can ask for this. And so, you know, I already teed it up for this council person, you know, that if you have any hesitancy, I'd rather err on being squeaky clean right now than not, because it'll come back to bite us.
Right. I don't think the juice wouldn't be worth the squeeze on something like this.
Let's not do it then.
So rather than make anything murky, I think there's probably other avenues.
Thank you.
Would be better.
Yeah, because we need to be really, really squeaky clean, because Craig HEADQUIST is looking at everything. If you witnessed it last night on that simple matter about the easements with YDOT, and that, well, this is kind of cart before the horse. I mean, this is, you know, that contract's already been let, and now we're just now getting around to doing this. Because he's after Rick Harris. He would love to get Rick, and I wanted to say, well, you know, it's actually YDOT that you need to be talking to, because it's been in their lap for a while. And so, you know, Craig, if you have issues, the folks that awarded that contract to you, YDOT, why don't you call them? But you know what, Craig? It really doesn't matter, because you're not going to be working out there in February. And so, I mean, but, you know, it's best just to let him look the fool and raise hell. But, yeah, I mean, he would love to get us. And so this one, you know, I was just, you know, a little nervous on. And so, I'll call this council person and say, you know what, you know, other consideration, we just can't be doing that.
Right. If they think there'd be a perceptionary thing there that could make things murky. There's nothing on the criminal side, but I don't think the juice would be worth the squeeze, because at the end of the day, there's really not a lot we can do with it.
Hello? Chief John, how are you?
Yes.
How you doing? Good. Pretty short meeting tonight. Yes. That was pretty sweet. It's nice to be done by, you know, before 7.
Right.
Is it lawful for me, and you tell me if it's not, I mean, this is one of those things, because I had a council member tonight ask me to run a plate, because this council member was curious about who the owner of this vehicle is. And you know, in past lives, the running of plates going on in CIC or whatever data source that is that you get it from wasn't something that that I had authority to do, and something that could be done for purposes other than police work. I mean, it's just not for common curiosity at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if that applies here, if that was a universal thing, or if that was just
For what purpose were they wanting it run for?
I don't know if you want to know. There is a belief that Craig Hedquist does not live in his ward, and they think this car is his, and that it's out of his ward, and so they are pursuing this knowledge to see if this is his car and that if he's living someplace else.
Yeah. For a law, there's no issues for a law enforcement function, and we could do probably a local check on that without any issues. Tapping into the your NCIC database, something along those lines. There has to be to start running things on those lines. Some sort of law enforcement purpose behind inquiring into that, because we have to justify each one as to why we ran it on that. But there's not that for a local check. So I can do a local check on that. That stuff's pretty much public record. What's the plate?
It's from the county number 1, and it's 7760. I think it might be a pickup truck.
Okay.
Okay. If as long as it doesn't get us in trouble.
Yeah. Let me check on that, and I'll get back with you.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Chief.
Okay. You bet.
Councilman Keith Goodenough says he wants City Manager John Patterson to resign. News 13 attended tonight's work session to get feedback on what council is thinking about the issue.
I see him as more of a deal maker than a manager.
Outgoing council member Keith Goodenough says his call for Patterson's resignation has nothing to do with the HEADQUIST investigation itself, but rather what came out in the recorded conversations between Patterson and former police chief Chris Walsh.
This shows a side of our manager that most people don't see, because he didn't realize he was being recorded, and neither did the police chief, as far as I know. So that just brought to light a whole host of issues, and I believe it'd be better if Mr. City Manager were to find work elsewhere.
Goodenough says he called for an executive session to discuss the topic a few weeks ago, but was denied.
7 of us support Mr. Patterson as our city manager, so I can't make any decisions on the whim of 1 or 2 members.
And many council members agree with the mayor.
The majority of council is 100% behind John Patterson. He does a fabulous job. He has a passion for our community. That makes me feel even more passionate about our community.
If the majority of council was unhappy with the city manager's performance and felt that he should not be the person in that position, he would no longer be here.
In decades of city work in several states, Patterson says this is the first time he's seen something like this.
To have a city council member ask for my resignation. Never had it happen in the decades that I've been serving. And to follow a council member suing me, never had it happen.
But says he doesn't plan to go anywhere.
Castro's a great community, generous people. I've never met a more generous people. City and I are proud to be Casper residents, and we're going to stay here as long as they'll have us.
Councilman Goodenough already announced that he does not plan to run for re-election. He's hoping for a spot as an Oconee County Commissioner.